Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Married to Medicine, Season 9, Episode 4. So, the intervention was a complete bust. It was a flop. It completely backfired on Contessa because at the end of the day, the one who felt the worst was Contessa. She was crying, she was frustrated, she was even more upset than what she was at the beginning of the evening. So, she ends up leaving. Heavenly left. Then Contessa left. She goes up to her room and she's getting ready for bed with her guests still in the house. Heavenly goes outside to leave. Dr. Jackie follows Heavenly out, tries to talk to Heavenly about it. And Heavenly, basically, her defense is, I was only repeating what she herself had said on the show, what she had herself had put out there. So I wasn't saying anything that was told to me in confidence. I was just repeating exactly what she said. Okay, Heavenly, that's fine. Yes, you were repeating what Contessa had already brought out there, but it's Contessa's story to tell. It's not your story to tell. So for her to go on her YouTube channel and basically gossip about her really good friend, her best friend, to gossip about this woman's marriage, about this woman's husband, to a whole bunch of strangers for her own benefit, for her own channel to benefit from this, to grow, to get a lot of clicks and views, to get subscribers. It's kind of tacky and it's not right. Yes, Contessa has talked about this on television. But that's her right to do that about her own story, her own life. It's not your place to talk about her problems unless she gave you explicit permission to get on your YouTube channel and to blast her husband. It doesn't matter how bad Contessa talked about her own husband, about her own marriage. It doesn't matter how much she dragged Scott on television. That is her husband to drag. Those are her issues to reveal to the public. So for Heavenly to get on her YouTube channel and to cackle with her subscribers, her viewers, and to just gossip about her good friend's marriage going down the toilet, I mean, it was wrong. Contessa had every right to be upset about it, but I think that the way she went around it, it wasn't going to give her the results that she wanted. Or maybe it will. I don't know. I haven't seen the latest episodes of the latest episode of Dr. Heavenly since this show aired, since this episode aired, to see what she said and if she's going to stop talking about Contessa and everybody else. Now, after Jackie talked to Heavenly, she goes inside to talk to Contessa, and Contessa asks Jackie, well, how is it that you're able to deal with the things that she said about you and your husband? And Dr. Jackie says, I don't put a lot of value in what Heavenly says. But then again, Jackie and Heavenly are really good friends because on her YouTube channel, Heavenly praises Jackie just about every single video that she does. She praises Jackie to the moon and stars above. She talks about how Jackie is like a really good person. Jackie has really been there for her. She's a really good friend to her. She talks about how out of all the women on the show, Jackie makes the most money. She's got the most successful practices because she's got centers and clinics and whatever else. And she does really well. And maybe that's why Jackie doesn't put a lot of stock in what Heavenly says, because most of the time Heavenly is praising Jackie. She does talk about Curtis. She does talk about Jackie's marriage, but I don't think it's on the same level of how she talked about the other people's marriage. So after that, Heavenly meets up with Anila. They're having lunch together. And Anila obviously is on Heavenly's side because Anila has been on Heavenly's channel. So, they have like a friendship going on there. And also, I think they're united because they both don't like Toya. So I think that's what helps them bond, because they both can't stand Toya. So Anila says that, when Heavenly was laughing at the video clips that Contessa was showing in the theater room, Anila was like, well, you weren't like laughing. You was more like a nervous laughter, right? She was trying to like diffuse the situation and try to come to her friend's defense. Now, Heavenly starts talking about Eugene and Toya, and she starts to say that Eugene and Toya are having problems in their marriage. And she says that she heard from someone who, I don't know who it was that told her, but someone in the group, someone told Heavenly something that they heard from someone else, that they heard from someone else that Eugene was talking to a group of people and he told these people that marrying Toya was like the biggest mistake that it was the worst mistake that he ever made. And I don't know if that's true. Who knows if that's true or not? Because Heavenly loves to perpetuate rumors. She talks about that rumor. She also talks about the rumor about Quad. She basically, she didn't confirm. To me, it wasn't like she confirmed that Quad was having an affair with a married man. She was confirming that there were rumors out there about Quad having an affair with a married man, because she said that the rumors are going around about Quad and someone else's husband. She tells Anila either the name of the wife or the name of the woman who's spreading these rumors. I'm not sure who she was naming, but she did give a name. And I think she also gave the name of the guy as well. And Anila didn't know either one of them. So she said it like as if, when she was telling Anila this information about Quad and this married man, she said it as in kind of like she wasn't aware that she was still mic'd. But it's like, y'all had just got done filming a scene. Maybe the cameras weren't there, but you knew that you were still mic'd, Heavenly, because they didn't take off your mic. So how could you act like you're telling her something in complete secrecy when you know that you're mic'd? Because in the confessional, the producers asked her about that conversation about Quad and the married man, and then Heavenly wants to play dumb and say, I don't know anything about that. Did she forget that she was still mic'd? That was so confusing to me, because like, Heavenly, you're mic'd and you're talking to her like you're not mic'd, but you know that you are. And then in your confession, you act like you didn't say anything, but we all heard you. And then she also talks about Eugene and Toya's marriage and says that, the thing about what Eugene said to this crowd of people, this group of people, that marrying Toya was the biggest mistake he's ever made. I don't know if that's true or not, but one thing that I do know, watching Eugene so far in this season, Eugene seems very stressed out. He seems extremely bothered by something, and I don't know exactly what it is. The good thing is Eugene, it looks like he's losing weight, but it seems like there's something troubling him. He's not the same. And he's usually like, the fun guy, cracking jokes all the time. He's always in a good jolly mood. But this season so far, it might change later, but so far Eugene to me is not the same Eugene that I'm used to. He does seem a little bit stressed out. And I wonder if there is something going on between him and Toya, or if Toya is just stressing him out with all these damn houses and the fact that he's got to work all these hours. I don't know, but Eugene seems very stressed out. So Simone in her confessional says that the reason why Heavenly likes to talk about other people's problems is because she wants to deflect from her own situation and her own problems with her own marriage. Now, I'm not going to say that I don't think Heavenly just doesn't talk about her. She's not going to sit up there and talk about her problems like everybody else. Everybody else, they get diarrhea of the mouth when they talk about their husbands or their marital issues, like Simone and Contessa. Contessa had it. She had diarrhea of the mouth so bad when it came to her problems with Scott. But Heavenly knows better. She knows better not to talk about her problems to use so that other people can use that as ammunition against her. But because she doesn't talk about her problems, it seems even more crazy that she's like spending so much of her time talking about other people's marital issues. If you don't want to talk about yours, fine. But girl, don't make a living out of talking about other people's problems, especially, when it's not even related to the show. You're doing this completely on your own time. Moving on from that, I forgot that Contessa had her and Scott open up their own clinic. We got so focused with Contessa's marriage and all of that, completely forgot that she opened up her own clinic. And so far, so good. It's doing really well. She had an ex-football player come in to get checked out about something. And then there was this really good discussion between her and the football player about CTE, the brain damage that a lot of footballers get from having a lot of hits to the head, or having concussions and stuff from, all the hits that they take to the head. And I thought that was a very informative discussion. And so that was a really good scene. So then Anila, she's trying to survive without Miss Gomez. Her kids are driving her crazy. She acts like she's never been a mom a day in her life, the way she's just like fumbling around with these children. And it's like, Anila, you're making it look like you had nothing at all to do with your kids when Miss Gomez was your nanny. That's how you're making it seem like, because you act like you don't know how to cook, you don't know how to fix a boo-boo, you don't know how to put them to bed. You're just like all over the place, and you got to call your mom and ask, like, girl, what were you doing? You were not being a parent at all when Miss Gomez was in the house. Like, you need to know you should know how how to handle your own children, whether Miss Gomez was there or not, because I know Miss Gomez took a day off. I know Miss Gomez went on vacation, so you didn't know what to do with your kids when she would take her days off. Like, what's going on? Moving on from there, Dr. Heavenly. The only thing that I want to say about that scene between Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damien, when they were getting ready for the Halloween party, she was telling her husband about how the women ganged up on her. They did this intervention on her and she started crying and, whatever. But what I wanted to mention the most is that her voice completely changes when she talks to her husband. She sounds like, oh, and daddy, they were saying this, and daddy, they were saying this. She sounds like a little girl. Her voice goes up like about 10 octaves. But then when she's rolling in the mud with Contessa and Toya, she does not sound like that. Moving on to the Halloween party. The only thing that I want to say about this Halloween party, it just like Eugene completely surprised me. Contessa wasn't there. She chose not to show up. She told her husband to lie to everybody and tell them that she was out of town. Why? Why does he have to lie? Why do you have to lie about the fact that you didn't want to come to this Halloween? It's just a Halloween party. Just let them know, hey, she's like, she didn't want to come. Who cares? She didn't want to show up. So Anila and her husband, they come dressed as movers, and they come with an entire U-Haul truck with the movers a uniform on with their names embroidered on the uniform. I mean, they went all out with this, and they came there to make a joke about Toya and Eugene constantly moving from house to house to house. And Eugene and Toya obviously did not like it. Toya didn't even want to like fully come out. She was just standing at the door or something. And Toya was like, I just can't believe how much energy and how much thought you're putting into my life and my houses. Girl, stop. You're making a joke out of yourself, okay? This constant, every single time a new season begins, Toya and Eugene are in transition of a new house. They're staying in a rental because they're having yet another house built, another dream house built. What is going on, Toya? Like, I've talked about this before ad nauseum in my previous video about Toya and Eugene and these damn houses. It is funny. It is a joke. Everybody else is situated, cemented in their homes. You're the only one that is constantly moving from house to house. And then it's okay. If you want to just come out and say it, look, I get bored with my homes and I want to move every couple of years. I want a new house every couple of years. Then we can understand exactly what's going on. But instead, you tell us every single time you get a new house, you tell us, y'all, this is my dream house. This is my forever home. This is our forever home. And then a year later, you're in another house. So that's why everybody's so confused. And that's why it is a joke. It's a joke to everybody. So she's really offended. Her and Eugene are extremely offended by it. Toya is used to being made the butt of many jokes, but Eugene is not. So Eugene did not take it lightly at all. He was really upset about this. He confronted Dr. Saja. He confronted Anila's husband about this, telling him that it wasn't funny, it wasn't cute. And I'm just like, this goes back to what I said originally about you. What is wrong with Eugene? Like, what is wrong with Eugene? Is like this, he is pissed off this season. He is short-tempered, aggravated. It's just not the same Eugene. And so he just goes, whatever. So they made fun of them and they're moving. I thought it was hilarious. I thought if there was a contest, they definitely should have won. They went all out. They did the damn thing. Toya tells Anila, if you want to joke about me, that's fine. But then when you get my husband involved and he's upset, that's a whole different story. That's a whole different situation. Moving on from there. Heavenly apologizes to Quad. She pulls Quad to the side at the Halloween party and tells her that she's really sorry about what she said. Which to me, the apology seemed kind of fake because Heavenly was just talking about Quad, about, the fact that she was out there fooling around with somebody's husband. She told that to Anila. And then she comes back and she says that she's sorry to Quad. Whatever. So, Quad says in her confession that the next time that Heavenly says anything disrespectful about her, the friendship is done, over, dead, bury it. Then the guys go axe throwing, and Anila's husband, I can't remember his name, Anila's husband, he comes, he's a part of the whole group, and Eugene tells him, like, hey, what you did at the Halloween party was not cool. It just really wasn't funny. I didn't find it funny at all. So Anila's husband apologizes, but then he was like, okay, I'm sorry, but it was damn funny to me. So it was an apology that wasn't an apology. And, that just pissed off Eugene even more. And I'm just like, Eugene, relax. You don't see how crazy it looks that every single season, year, whatever, y'all are moving or building a new home. Y'all live more in a rental than y'all do in your actual home. And you don't see anything strange or off about that. Because everybody sees it, but nobody wants to really say anything because y'all are so sensitive. And Anila and her husband, they went all out there and made a big joke about it. But it looks crazy. It looks absolutely insane that y'all are constantly moving from house to house. And then there's only four of y'all. It's you and two little boys. Why do y'all need, 36,000 square feet, 25 bedrooms, 57 bathrooms? For what? What are y'all doing? Anyways, thank you so much for joining me in this review. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video if you like this content, subscribe, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.